Well, Jessica, that's right. When you look out here in Elliott Bay, yes, you see Washington State Ferries. You also see tugboats. You see tour boats. Sometimes you can see fishing boats. And then there are the container ships. So there are lots of competitors for State Ferry jobs.
Rudder midship.
Simulators aren't just for airlines. This simulator is of the bridge to a Washington State ferry heading into Coleman Dock.
You would like to see you port to port.
In 2017, we came to the Seattle Maritime Academy, part of the city's community college system, to witness training to prepare crew members for higher-ranking jobs like second and first mate, even captain. Because the ferry system knew then that large numbers of people in those higher ranks were about to retire. Well, now in 2020 and 2021, they're retiring.
What happens then is that there's a huge sucking of more junior people who haven't been in the industry very long necessarily up through the ranks, and that creates this huge vacuum then at the bottom.
Dale Bateman is now dean of the academy. Along with a career in the Coast Guard, he spent years recruiting new people for jobs in the water. And there's demand, and not just from Washington State Ferries.
They've got a lot of competition because the tug companies are looking for graduates of my program. The fishing industry is looking for graduates of my program. The small cruise companies that are home-based here in Seattle.
Ferry says one of the key shortages is for oilers, the first rung on a career ladder in the engine room that involves a lot of duties below decks. It's a job with full-time hours that can pay nearly $60,000 a year. In a State Ferry report out this summer, there were slots for 10 oilers. They only recruited 3. Above decks wasn't much better. 39 deckhands left between July of 2020 and June of 2021. They only recruited 13 to replace them. And COVID hasn't helped. The academy typically turns out 32 to 36 graduates in a normal year for all kinds of jobs. With social distancing and other requirements, that number dropped by a third. The numbers are now going back up, but Bateman says the industry has an even more fundamental recruiting problem.
Even more basically, the maritime industry is out of sight, out of mind.
And it's out of sight, out of mind. He says even though when you drive here in the Seattle waterfront, you can see a lot of these vessels at sea, but he says this is an industry that is also overwhelmingly white, where it also has a lot of connections to people who have relatives who are in the business, and people who are minorities or not, says often don't even consider the possibilities for what many are very well-paying jobs, and that is something he is hoping to change. Live in Seattle, Glenn Farley, King 5 News.